this year's team with all the different additions and subtractions? I mean, what's kind of give us a general outlook how things are going?
It's going good. I mean, obviously a different feel with Juwan not being here for sure. But new faces bring new opportunities and a new light on our team, absolutely. But it's exciting. It's fun when you have new faces. And you have a few veterans that have helped us. And we have a good synergy about us. And it's exciting. It really is.
How is it different without Juwan? You don't have the main guy there, but even behind the scenes things with, visits and,
Sure.
He can't do anything, right?
Right. It's been good. Our staff, obviously, is a veteran staff. With Phil, Sadi, H, myself, Jerron being played here, Chris Hunter. We've kind of been through the paces, so it makes it a little bit easier knowing that we all have some responsibility, and then we got to pick up the slack a little bit from that's missing with Juwan. But we've been down this road a little bit before, and again, you just want to make sure we're doing things right and staying together. And when there's, what do I say, new obstacles, it's new opportunities for players, and new opportunities for coaches to, to step up and to make sure we're communicating and everybody's in alignment with it and marching forward.
Is there a chance? I know you look at all the new guys coming in and talk about them, but is there still a chance with a player either being from the get-go or in the winter semester? I mean, is there opportunities there?
I know what you're asking. you're beating around the bush right now. But you're probably talking and referring to Lee. That paperwork's in the works. And we're just going to kind of leave it there right now until we find out more is going on with it. It's kind of a daily thing now. We're just trying to make sure the paperwork gets in alignment. And, hopefully something will happen soon, but can't guarantee anything.
I know it's more like Trey Jackson. Can you talk about his game? Does he have 2 years, or is a grad student? Does he have one, or is there a chance for two?
Yeah, he has that COVID year, so he has 1 year plus the COVID year, so he'll have 2 years to go, and that's a nice benefit because anytime you go into a new system, it's just like a new job. It takes a little while to get adjusted. Some adjust quicker, some not as quick. And then once you gain that experience of a system, obviously the second year is a little bit easier because you know terminology and how people work. So we're trying to get most of all our new players caught up to speed. The nice thing about them is we added age, we've added experience, which usually helps in the growth process.
You've seen teams in the past, in this early going. I mean, what's the ceiling or outlook overall? If everything can come together, you guys taking some kind of underdog mentality into this season, anything like that?
Not really. I think it's just for us as growth, getting better each time we step. I know it's all cliche, but it's just continue to get better each day, an opportunity, and focus on the process of getting better and not look too far down the road because you get caught up in the early predictions and all those things that everybody likes to read. I get it. I'm not bashing anybody, but it is part of it, and I get it. But it's like today and tomorrow is just about getting better each and every day. The nice thing, again, our players have been coming in. They've been working hard. That's all you can ask out of somebody. Like paying attention to details, create good habits each and every day. And every time we play, there's always somebody that plays a little bit better than somebody. So you got to make sure you stay somewhere in the middle. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. But again, focus on that, and then focus on our team and making sure that we're playing well together. Basketball, like football, is a team sport. We have to play well together. And first, again, in the morning hours, we got guys in the gym right now shooting and working out before we practice. There's a good synergy about them, and I think we just kind of work in the dark a little bit, keep getting better.
Doug, what kind of forward progress do you think, or kind of progress that he's made?
I think he's made great progress. I think he's become a little bit more vocal. Doug's not an overly talkative, loud person, but Doug is continually getting better. He's taken steps this summer, being here all summer and developing his body a little bit more. I think he's shown a little bit more leadership both on and off the court. And only time tells when we lace it up and play, but all intentions and everything pointing in the right direction. So he's making huge progress.
I want to ask you about the newcomer from Finland, via Tennessee, Olivier Kamwa.
I want y'all to, how do you say his last name?
Kamwa?
There you go. Yeah. I'm just testing y'all.
I saw him play against Duke. I mean, he looked great. He looked great against Duke. I mean, is that the?
I'll
that's
throw
the kind
around
of player
great a
you're
lot,
hoping
but
for.
hey,
Yeah.
he's definitely added some. Obviously, he added some real toughness to our back line. He's experienced, like I said. When you have a guy of his size and stature, and then he goes and plays in the World Cup. I mean, that's a great experience. He brings all that to the front with a young Terrace Reed, and really a young Will Cheddar right now too. He hadn't played a little bit, he hadn't played a lot, but played some last year. Gave some quality minutes, so that's a plus. But he brought that and his toughness and his vocal. He's really a vocal young man that understands how to play, has great knowledge of the game, and looking forward to making sure he provides some leadership.
I have two quick ones left.
Go ahead.
Terrace
No.
Reed, like he's big enough to, if the guy's as big as him, he's faster, quicker than those guys, and he can kind of bully the little guys. I mean, I would expect that he could take a huge step. Like, I mean, he's one of the leaders of the team.
Knock on wood. I hope you're right. We're counting on him, obviously, to take steps in the right direction. Again, he's a young man that stayed here all summer, worked on his body, worked on his game, improved his foul shooting. All fingers crossed, right? He's done a great job with that. He's just a really good piece to what we're trying to get done. I think last year, if you watched him, he had some silly fouls that were just body out of place, ball screen not quite set, he'd clock a guy. I think he's starting to understand a little bit now, timing of ball screens and how they need to be set to stay out of foul trouble. And that'll be a growth process for him too. But all intentions, he's moving in that direction.
With Juwan not being able to do any basketball related, does this come down? How does it affect like official visits when you want to bring guys in? Can he even text them? Are you playing this week by week when it comes down to the visits and all that?
He's been communicating. I mean, that's but he had a 2-3 week window in there where he wasn't. But now he's communicating, and it's. The nice thing about the guys who are recruiting it, I think everybody understands this. This was not a appendicitis. This was a huge surgery that takes time to heal. I think I shouldn't say I think, I know our recruits understand and their parents understand. And it's a process to get them back. And they're patiently waiting, and so are we on his return. And prayers and thoughts are with him every day. So that's a big part of it.
Thanks so much for your time. Did
Always.
you enjoy that San Diego State run?
What?
You enjoy
Yeah,
it?
my guy Dutch. Wasn't that fun? It was really cool to see. I think the most cool thing to see was Steve and Mark behind the bench and on the bench there. I think that was a cool thing to see. It was really good. Me and Dutch talked a couple times during the process. It was really good. I think the big win against Alabama was a highlight of the whole run, but it was cool. It was very cool to see.
Thanks, Jake.
Always.
You mentioned obviously a little bit with Olivier helping Terrace Reed. Can you talk a little bit more about like what that has looked like, how he's been sort of guiding him?
Well, here's the nice thing about him and Will Cheddar, Olivier and Will Cheddar. They're both very talkative. When we have film sessions, they're really helping Terrace raise his basketball IQ. Not that it's low, but when you have conversations and you can discuss things, I think that raises Terrace's game up, and he sees just from experience. Olivier will say, well, Terrace, if you'd have done this, that would have helped you in the next play. It just helps. It helps his growth. I mean, that's the only way I can understand it. It just helps his growth when he's around both those two, talking and discussing play in our film sessions that we've had. That has really helped him.
Yeah. Obviously, the transfers you brought in have a lot of experience other places.
Yep.
What does it take to kind of integrate that experience with what you guys want to do here?
Again, I go back to it's a little bit of a day-by-day thing. I think getting adjusted and knowing each other's games. We brought him a little bit in late. Olivier joined us for part of the summer and then missed part of the summer because of the World Cup, which is a good thing. Not a bad thing, but a good thing. And then these early practice sessions, having these scrimmages, some short where we scrimmage and practice a little bit and just blending the group together. And it's like anything else. You got to have a good mindset to this thing. You got to be willing to accept constructive criticism. You have to be open to different thoughts and ideas. And right now, our guys have been great, and I expect that to continue. Their growth mindset right now for me is as far as coming in and getting extra work in. This has been a really good group of guys, really from top to bottom as far as their growth mindset.
You speak about growth.
Yep.
Cam Sanderson.
Yep.
He knows about growth and strides. Which player have you seen take the biggest strides?
I think there's a host of people. Everybody equates growth to like put on 15 pounds. You know, right away you start riding, or this guy lost 30 pounds, and everybody's like, oh, that's great growth. You know, I think there's different areas of that growth. From a mental standpoint, and not only physical, because that's the one you see, you know, like a yo-yo whose body's put on some weight. But I just think his growth and his play, not just him, but even like Dougie, Terrace Reed, like you got to continue to take steps. And from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, even a spiritual standpoint, just continue to start growing as a human, you know what I mean? And don't, you know, put all your weight on whether I score a bucket or not. You know, just focus on your job at that current time. Focus on the process of getting better each and every day.
Gotcha. How about physical, though? Physical standpoint. Who has taken that next step, would you say? You mentioned Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo, Terrace, or Trey Jackson.
Okay.
He's put on some nice weight. He's gotten bigger. I think Terrace Reed had trimmed down.
Okay.
I think he looks better. I know this is going to sound funny, but I think Dougie's gotten stronger, but he doesn't. You know, there's one of those ones where I'm not sure it appears he's bigger, but I think he's gotten stronger. I know he's quicker. It seems like he's quicker out there. Like he's on skates almost. T. Will, you know, it's kind of a forgotten name. I mean, he's played really well. He's worked hard at his game. I can go right down the line. Olivier's body, I mean, he continues to get stronger, I think. Like, man, he's a big human being. Will Cheddar, you know, has had a great summer. I'm trying to think of who else. Namari Burnett. There's another one that's been here all summer. Has really added to the guard position along with George. I think George has really grown from having guys in front of him grow. You know, I can go right down all of our team. When you're here for 7-8 weeks, I mean, you're going to grow. You don't have a choice. Like, you're going to get better, you know, by just being around it. But those guys that take an intentional, and most of our guys have taken intentional growth and really gotten better with it.
Defensively, how good do you think the squad can be this year?
I know sometimes we all get caught up in the stats of things. When you play basketball at this level, the offensive talent of the other teams is really hard to guard. Like, there's just really good players in this league. So your defensive schemes, and Sadi, being a defensive coordinator, has done a great job. I know sometimes the stat may not show it, but it's a team sport again, and we got to be able to guard as a team. Guys off the ball have to make sure that they're paying attention and know what's going on, and understanding the scouts and paying attention to details, and building habits this month of October that we can carry over defensively. As you know, I mean, contesting shots, don't foul, you know what I mean? Rebounding the ball are all going to be tested when the lights come on.